But the community colleges had a problem, and I know because I was in charge of continuing education at MIT. And you decide that you're going to do a course, and you spend a lot of money, and you advertise it, and people stay away in droves. And pretty soon you're blowing your budget. You don't have much of a budget. So generally speaking, you can't offer education unless you know there's demand out there. But for something very new, there's no demand for this new thing. So they were trying to carry water uphill in a leaky bucket that was rough. And we said, we got to get it together. Because we're creating demand, and you're creating supply, but we're not in harmony. So let's work together. And great, okay, so how do we do that? Well, we got to learn how. And about that time, I was going around trying to figure out where to make a home for this new movement. At that time, we called it the American Quality and Productivity Institute. When I was in Japan, they said to me, why do you use the word productivity? And I said, because I can't sell it in America unless I have the word productivity in there. But I know that quality is the root to productivity, and concentration on productivity tends to destroy quality. So, but I have to do it because that's where I live right now. And they said, no, sorry for you. Anyway, how are we going to do this? I'm going around looking for a home because one thing was absolutely clear to me. MIT was the worst possible place in the world to be the sponsor of quality. The main reason is that universities, particularly people at places like MIT, think their job is to teach the intellectual elite. And this is a job where you must work with people of low level of education and help them to move. And you can't do that from a place that has the wrong self-image. The really good place to do it from is the community college. They think their job is to serve the community. But the leading universities say, we are university of the world. We just happen to be here in Boston or wherever, right? Our faculty draw us from all over the world. Students go and they're local people. Well, that's not our problem. And if you are on the faculty at one of those prestigious places, and you say you're going to devote your time to helping the unwashed, don't look for promotion, don't look for prestige, don't look for support. MIT is a great place. Teach anything except humility. And when I told that to one of my colleagues, he says, well, if we did it with the best damn course you ever saw. All right, now, so I began to look for a home, and also I was approaching retirement again. Retirement's easy, I've done it 3 times. We decided, I was looking for places, and I made a talk for the National Society of Professional Engineers, and engineers, particularly those concerned with manufacturing and keeping businesses alive, were among the earliest to appreciate the importance of Deming and what Deming taught, because they're right there. And when I talked about what we were doing, to my great surprise, I got a standing ovation, and they said, how can we help? I said, well, what they can do is you give me an office and a part-time secretary and somebody to answer the phone, and just a little bit of money. And they said, fine, they allocated those things. And amongst them was the chairman of one of the divisions, Bud Lunsford, who was with Houston Kodak. And I told him about our interest in starting this. He said, why don't you try Kingsport, Tennessee? It's right where I live. It's just outside of Eastern Kodak. And now Bud is a very, very sharp fellow. And he had been involved in quality and applying it within Eastern Tennessee. And you know, they just won Walker's prize, right? Well, there's been a long operation there. And so we decided to go after the community, but look at it as a system, and to think of it in political terms. And we took 9 months before we made any public moves. And during that time, we figured out we need an educational institution, we need to get them involved. And we found a little technical, vocational, community college operation there. Then we've got to watch out. The mayor's office, the city, figure out how to move without creating political problems. So we talked to people and got them involved. Then in small businesses, we talked to a few such people. And then finally we planned a kickoff meeting. And at that kickoff meeting, we planned to have an announcement of what we were doing, opportunities for education. David and Carol Schwinn joined, provided the educational materials. So at that kickoff meeting, I forget who we had give a speech. I gave a little talk. We announced the course. We signed some people up ahead of time. Got the Chamber of Commerce involved. We made it something for everybody. And by the way, in planning this, we had a wonderful session with Ralph Barra, who wrote the book Making Quality Circles Work. Now, 10 years ago, all of these techniques for holding meetings and doing force field analysis and all that was very, very new. He led us through that, through some of the rules that came out. One of the rules comes out of Benjamin Franklin, who said, when he started the Journal Club of Philadelphia, there is no limit to the amount of good you can do in the world if you don't try to take credit. So he said, we are going to do that. We're not going to take it. We're going to go to everybody that we find that has a role to play and ask them to help by doing the things they want to do. For example, you go to the local ASQC group and you say, we want to do this community activity. You have a lot of expertise in the area of quality. Would you please set up some group to advise us, to help us, to perhaps do some things that you were going to do, but please help us by mentioning and promoting what we're trying to do, because we need you and your expertise. Never get turned down when you go to people that way. They say, by the way, we do not have a membership. We're not enrolling people. We have small committees, we have task forces, and we'll ask you to help us form some of those task forces for the good of the community, these things we're trying to do, and you are essential. Will you do it? You never get turned down when you go to people that way. These statisticians, if there's a local chapter, you go to them and you say, we want you to have some kind of committee to help us see that what we do in the area of statistics is of high quality, that we don't have things going on that are substandard, and you're the people who can do it. Will you help us? And you go to any group that has the potential to help you and talk to them that way. And we say, we're not asking for any money, but we hope you'll send some people to some meetings with us to keep us informed of what you're doing, and we can coordinate and all that. And nobody fights you. They're not scared. You've got to be very careful, because in this highly competitive society, people want to know, when you begin, are you going to make life tough for me? You have to be sensitive to that. This is the political dimension. It must be in there all the time. Okay, we tried to apply those ideas ourselves. In fact, one lesson you must keep. The process of introducing quality must be done in a quality way. Today, it's good. Everything is arranged, room, facility, materials are available, they're done neatly, they weren't done on a copy machine that was out of order, so on, right? That's very important, because the best people are busy. And one thing they've learned is, don't invest your time in a flaky organization. You must do that. You must be right. And that means yourselves follow quality management principles. Use the techniques, running meetings, use the techniques in deciding what to do. But ask, what does it take to succeed? I once asked Deming that, and he was a fantastic guy for getting the whole idea in one sentence. You know, I can go back and read his stuff 10 years later, and I still learn stuff from it. I go listen to a tape, and there's something there that I didn't get the first time. This is an extraordinary one. What you need is a critical mass of people who understand and who work together consistently.